Good afternoon, Dave here, and I just wanted to make a video about the benefits of having an out-of-body experience. Uh, Chatted with a number of my friends about some of my experiences, and one of the main questions that they ask is, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to have an out-of-body experience? What personal benefit is it to them? So, number of things that I just jotted down off the top of my head. First and foremost, it's just fun. You can have a good time doing it, and if you're not enjoying what you're doing, then what's the point of doing it anyways, right? So, number one is just really, really fun. You get to have a lot of experiences that you cannot have here in three-dimensional reality. You can experience things such as dual consciousness. And okay, dual consciousness, what do I mean by that? It means you have as your consciousness expands, you have the ability to know and experience that you are in more than one place in space and time. And that's about as close as I can get to experiencing it, because there are moments when I will be conscious that I will be in my body, or conscious, sorry, not in my body, but conscious of presence. How do I say this? I will be conscious of my body, but I will be conscious that I am also in the astral at the same time. It is a very hard concept to explain until you can experience it. But right now, in this physical body, I'm really only conscious of my consciousness here in this one body in one place in space and time. But as soon as you start to have out of bodies, your consciousness starts to expand, and you can experience dual or multi-consciousness, where you are aware of being in more than one place at the same time. And it's a pretty freaky experience, which is really neat. I haven't experienced this one, but I've read some authors that say you can experience 360-degree vision, because when you're having an out-of-body experience, you are looking through your third eye, and when you're in the astral, there's no barrier of the back of your head there, so you can experience that. I haven't experienced that one personally, but it sounds kind of neat. Because you are using your third eye in the astral only, it is a very good way to develop and enhance your practice if you are trying to develop or open your third eye. Because the more you use it over there, the more you've got that connection with how to see through it, and the more that can carry over into three-dimensional reality, physical reality. That since I've started having the out-of-body experiences, my third eye has started to open up a little bit as well. In addition to whatever other practices that a person might do, whether it's chanting or mantras, or doing some decalcification of your pineal gland. So this has really helped in terms of opening my third eye up from a perspective of actually seeing things. I think the main benefit that most people can experience is you basically get to experience what happens when you die. Because when you die, basically, your body stops functioning, and your non-physical part of yourself exits your body and leaves to the next reality. And that is precisely what happens when you have an out-of-body experience. People often say that we are spiritual beings having a physical existence. So we are spirit, and we come down and have this existence in a physical body. And it is one thing to have that. It's one thing to have that explained to you, or it's one thing to have that information, or you read it in a book or something. But it's completely different when you actually experience it. So when you actually start to experience the out-of-body in the separation of the non-physical body from the physical body, you basically know what happens after you die, and this changes your whole worldview. The amount of identification with your own body decreases dramatically, because um, we are all very entrenched in who we are as our thinking, either what we think or our bodies. And we cannot picture our own existence without a physical body, but really the physical body is just a small part of who we really truly are. And when you start to experience that, uh, your perception of the world changes, and you start to see things in a different manner completely. And not only that, when you start to realize that you are experiencing life after death, as most people would say, um, your fear of death decreases dramatically as well. Now it's still there a little bit, because it's something that we're all going to have to go through, but uh, you really start to experience life beyond the veil, and there's so much more out there to reality than just this physical reality. And again, it's one thing to read about it in a book, but until you actually experience it, it's completely different. So your fear of death diminishes, and just your your fear of almost everything diminishes, because you realize the essence of who you are just continues, and it continues, and it continues. And uh, the amount of fear that it has taken out of me and how I live my life has been absolutely tremendous. And so that's probably the main benefit that I want to get across. There are all sorts of other things that you can do once you're proficient at astral projection. It takes a while, but once you get there, you can get to the point where you start to meet angels or ascended masters, or elementals, or other versions of your higher self, um, that you can acquire wisdom and knowledge, and have them give you gifts and bring experiences to you that you could never have in this three-dimensional reality. So the result of that is that you have a more rapid expansion of consciousness. When you start to experience this, your consciousness just expands and expands, and it accelerates at the rate that it's expanding. And you become a heck of a lot more aware of how people are in your life and how they are around you. And you can really start to read and see people a lot better, and know where their issues are, and know where their pain is, and see, uh, particularly in yourself, where a lot of your issues are coming from, and where your fear is and where your pain is coming from, and you can deal with that a lot better. So um, there's a lot of benefits. I mean, if you just want the actual experience of it, you can fly, you can walk through walls, you can pretty much construct or deconstruct reality at your will when you're in the astral. The astral is a very thought responsive environment, so you have to be extremely aware of your thoughts. But if you wanted to, uh, I played around with this a few times. You can go into the astral, and then you think, okay, I want to create, say, a building, whatever. So building appears right in front of you. Okay, I want to create a tree. So tree, right there, it just pops up right in front of you, and you can build reality as you see, or a reality as you see fit. You can construct and deconstruct. Now, you can have fun doing that. That's just one thing you can do, but the end purpose of that is you realize that whatever happens over in the astral can also be mirrored over in the physical. And once you start building and constructing and deconstructing these realities in the astral, you start to realize how much power you actually have over reality. That you can basically mold the reality over there to fit your will. And there's no reason why you could not do that at here. It's just not as fast. You actually have to take some time and effort and put some action to it. It doesn't really happen for most people with just sitting there and thinking about it. You've got to think and feel it, but you've also got to do a lot to bring the reality that you want to create into three-dimensional form. But um, yeah, so there you go. There's some benefits of out-of-body experiences. Um, there's a lot of things you can do, and basically the sky is the limit. But the key is just to have fun with it. One more thing, because the astral is very responsive to your thought, a lot of what happens in the astral, um, you get to see deeply into your psyche, and things will appear, excuse me, and they will appear in front of you and disappear from you, and if you have no idea what's going on or no control of it or no mastery of it, that is a reflection of the level of mastery or control that you have over your own thoughts. And you can go deep, start going deep into your psyche in the astral, and whatever you manifest in front of you, or whatever is manifested in front of you, you can treat that as uh, a projection of your subconscious mind, and you can start digging into uh, some of these experiences and what happens, and then when you wake up you can journal about them and start to diarize and realize, okay, this is really what's going on in my head because this is exactly what I saw happen in front of me, and then you start to translate that and look for the same sort of emotional patterns or thought patterns that happen in your regular daily living, and you can start to uh, realize and correct some of these faulty thought patterns or belief systems or fears that you have. And so one of the ways or one of the other benefits is just as a tool for self-healing. You can look at it and do it that way, and again, because uh, the environment is very thought responsive, the amount of self-healing that you could do in terms of fixing your beliefs and negative emotions, or I shouldn't say fixing them, but just transmuting them into more positive feelings and emotions, it really accelerates, and that will help your growth potential enormously. So there you go. There's my take on benefits of out of body experiences, and have fun and take care.